All right, guys. Welcome to the Socially Unacceptable But Sober podcast. My name's Dino. That is Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan.
That is Matt.
I am Matt.
What's going on?
What's up, brother? How you feeling tonight?
Never had it so good, boys.
If it was any better, I'd be twins, right?
That's right. If it got any better, it'd be a crime. I'd be locked up for it.
So what's the purpose of this podcast?
The purpose of this podcast is to spread a little message,
Spread a little love.
of hope, recovery,
Spread a little love.
get a message out there for anybody who might need some help, and also get feedback from other sober people with suggestions for people that need help.
Yeah, and
It's a pretty good idea.
what worked for each other, right?
That's right.
What worked, what didn't work.
So what we have for the audience tonight is, since this is our very first podcast, episode 1.
Not that it would show at all that it's our first show.
Yeah, I think it's going to show pretty good. So, we're each going to tell you a little bit about each other, give you a little tidbit of who we are, where we came from. And I think Jonathan is going to start us off.
Yeah, Jonathan, alcoholic addict, loving it.
Jonathan.
So I'll give a little brief overview of my story. Oh, I got the timer. Perfect. So I am a Connecticut transplant from New York, as y'all know. Grew up in North Salem, Brewster area. Spent some time in Yonkers.
Yonkers.
And I was.
Raceway. Remember that back in the day?
It's still there. It's a fucking casino now.
Yeah, but it used to be on TV like late night.
Yeah.
Oh, they aired it?
Yep.
Nice. So, yeah, I spent a lot of time there. I was a spoiled young little kid because I was the oldest. My mother's one of 9, the oldest of 9, and I'm the oldest out of all the grandchildren from all those 9 aunts and uncles. So I had a pretty good life until my cousin came around, and then, shit went sideways. But, so my story starts with a lot of self-esteem issues, a lot of not feeling like I fit in. And then feeling the need to medicate. And my first drink was 8 years old. And you tell that to a normal person, they're like, oh my God.
Poor kid.
Yeah. But
Where was your mom?
For us, she was at work.
She was giving him the drink.
She was at work. I'll never forget it. Me and my friend, I wish I could use his name. His last name. Name's the name. Doug Friend. My friend Doug Friend. I don't know. We're not connected anymore, but
Doug Friend.
Raided the liquor store, the liquor cabinet, Dad's liquor cabinet. Had my first drink, and then from there on out, it was daily drinking. 8 years. I started smoking pot then. It wasn't daily. Started smoking pot around age 14. I had to buy my first bag.
That's bullshit.
Nobody offered it to me. I had to seek that shit out.
First one's usually free.
Always free, I thought. Not in North Salem, bro. You got to pay for that. You got to pay to play. So I had the first one around 14. It took me a while to start getting high. But after that, once I got that effect, life started to really take off. I managed through high school, to get out of high school. I went to college, and I'm a good drawer. So a good artist.
Anyone that draws doesn't say I'm a good drawer.
I like to do drawings.
Drawings.
What do they say, Matthew?
I don't know. I don't draw.
What do you do?
I don't do much.
So I went to school. I went to college for art as an art major because once I visited college, I realized that this is my ticket, no matter how much it costs, for a 4-year party.
Hell yeah.
That's all that. And man, was it ever. First trip on acid there, got introduced to cocaine, had been dabbling with some ecstasy before that. I had a summer of ecstasy where I literally took so much that I was hallucinating. I didn't even know what hallucinating was until I had my ecstasy summer, where you just take so much, those eyes just become pennies, and everything looks weird. And that's where it took off, and the drinking and the trouble started very quick. Wrecked Dad's car, sophomore year of college. Driving drunk home from the bars. Didn't get in trouble. I limped that mother trucker home. It was a nice 3 Series convertible BMW. I was trying to show off for some girls. You know how it is. And I hit the curb over by the Westchester Mall, and these curbs are like monster curbs. It's like a foot and a half high. And they just
granite curbs.
wrecked the shit. They just wrecked it.
Ripped the bottom off the car.
And have you ever been in an accident? You ever been in an accident in a convertible? Like a
No.
bad accident?
No.
They have these, so airbags normally would go off, but they have roll bars that pop out of nowhere.
No shit.
Gas powered roll bars. And those things popped up. So needless to say, those things are like $8,000 a piece to put back down, so that car was
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Never heard of that in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Never had a convertible. So.
Need me neither.
Yeah. I only had my dad's.
Actually, I did have one. It just didn't convert. It didn't work. Couldn't do it, or else it wouldn't go back on.
Oh, that was my first, brace with trouble. And then soon thereafter that, I made it through. I had a lot of failed relationships, as we do in college. I was a womanizer. I was an asshole. I sold a lot of cocaine to the hockey team and the lacrosse team.
They go to the national championships.
They won it all, baby.
Fast as hell, too, man.
Fastest dude in the room.
So
boy.
fast.
So fast. So nice.
Play hockey.
And then after that, I moved back in with the folks because I graduated 4 years with, and the only reason I graduated is because they were charging me an arm and a leg. It was just a highly expensive school for people that didn't really.
That did drawings.
Drawings.
I'm a hyper.
And so I moved in with the folks again and got a job, entry-level job in graphic design, printing press. And I worked at a copy shop, man. It was actually fabulous.
You were a barista?
Copy.
Oh, I thought you
I
said
thought
coffee.
he said
I thought
coffee
you said
too. The way
coffee.
he said
Because you're
that
from Yonkers,
fucked up
coffee.
word, coffee. No one says coffee.
Nobody does say coffee. They say copy.
You say coffee.
I say copy.
You say coffee.
So you were a copying machine.
I was a copier,
right.
and I hated my life. And
Yeah, I would have too.
It was terrible. We would take weekends. We would go out to the bars, and I would just literally spend my week's paycheck for a fucking hotel room for the weekend at Heidi's Motel.
Absolutely.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Heidi's.
Heidi's.
Hey,
It's
Heidi.
still there.
Hey.
A lot of cocaine done, and probably still done there. But we'd spend long weekends there, and I'd probably miss work on Monday. But then I started dating a woman that was a bartender at a bar right down the road, and that was like match made in heaven, man. I thought I was thumbs up, and it was awesome chaos for the first few months, and then she introduced me to a little thing called Oxycontin. Ooh. And this is how this solidified addict status for me. Is that the first time I did it, I remember I was in the parking lot of what was Outback Steakhouse in Danbury. Had a half a pill, crushed it, snorted it, and instantly, I don't even think the run time was like 5 seconds before it came right back up.
Oh, yeah.
And the feeling, like I right out the window, and then I was like, this is good, give me the other half.
Yeah. Hook it up.
And that was off to the races, man. And then soon thereafter, by the time the running and gunning was up, I was, graduating to heroin. I was taking hostages in the heroin game. What else was going on? I used to remember, I used to go down the Bronx and cop some heroin with this kid. And he would go down there with me, but he never picked up heroin. He would always get crack.
Good man.
And I thought he was the weirdest fucking dude. I'm like, because I hadn't done crack of this. I'd done cocaine, but I was like, and he drove. So we'd be driving around the city, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, why do you get this shit, man? This looks like shit. 3 years later, buddy.
Yeah, baby.
Carpet surfing, I was introduced to crack. It took me a little longer. But, institutions, right? 3 DWIs. First DWI sucked. Wasn't that bad, actually. It wasn't that bad. Third one sucked. Third one's the wicked one where I rolled the car on 87. That was a rough one. Where are we at? 8 minutes? What are we doing? 15?
15.
Plenty. All right. So where was I? DWIs.
Number 3.
Number 3 was the worst, right? So that one is a little down the line. That one was coming. So I pulled one of those geographicals. I moved up to the Catskills. to just get away. I was actually at the point I moved into the up to the Catskills. This was the status of my life. I had been kicked out of my mom's house. I was temporarily living in a trailer, like a pull behind trailer in her horse field.
So you're saying you lived in a nice house.
You're doing big things.
Big
things,
dude.
bro.
No
Grown
running
up.
water. No electricity.
Yes.
Middle of winter, and I was cool with that. And I got kicked out of that.
Yeah, we're good.
But I still had outpatient. At this time I'd been to several treatment facilities, and obviously they didn't do the trick. So I was kicked out of there, but I was still an outpatient. So I was like, all right, well, I'm doing something, And I was I was in the outpatient sleeping on this dude's couch in Mount Kisco when this older dude, a disbarred, what I think allegedly disbarred attorney, suggested to me, hey, I got a summer house up in the Catskills, man. Why don't we just get out of here? I was like, sounds good to me, dude. I'm living on a couch.
You got a bed in it?
Yeah, it's got a bed. So I just I was about to get kicked out of that outpatient because A, I was banging one of the girls there that I was programming with, and B, I was smoking crack like every third day, trying not to piss hot, which was impossible. Yeah. So up to the Catskills we went. So I'd been living up there 5 years. The one good thing that came out of the Catskills is my now wife, Ashley. That's where I met her, ski resort. And I stayed sober for a little bit. I worked alcoholically up there. I say dry. I should say dry. I wasn't sober. I was dry. I just wasn't using drugs. And I had just gotten off probation. We decided, the two of us living in the Catskills, that I was going to move back down to downstate New York, and Ashley was going to come with me. I moved back down. I got a job at DeWalt, Stanley Black & Decker, doing graphic design and video editing. And my boss, I love him to this day. He's an awesome man, and he is an inspiration. But he hired me, and I was down here, I think, for like 6 months, and Ashley was transitioning to come back down. Move down. Yeah, moving. Oh. What are you doing, man? Nobody's gonna hear you back there. Your commentary. Probably better off. And she, so I got in a fight. I had a motorcycle at this time, dude. I had bought a 1982 Honda Sabre off of a diabetic that couldn't hold it up anymore because it was so heavy. I bought it for $250.
I freaking love it, man.
And I got it running. So now I trailer it down, I'm fucking doing big things. I'm working. At this point, I'm drinking daily. I'm anticipating the fights with my mother because I'm living with her, and I'm drinking nips on the daily. I'm taking the motorcycle out. I mean, this thing would go like 90. I'd get to like 90, and the thing was like, and I was, I'm drunk, so I'm just making it. I used to go run and get drugs in this thing down in White Plains. Tip the thing in the middle of the road. People would stop their car to lift it up with me because I'm stopping traffic on this fucking bike with my book bag, my fun bag, So at this point, I got in a fight with my mother. It was 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and I'm blasted. I'm right rip and roaring. I had just dropped the bike in the backyard and she's trying to get me to give him.
Park that thing. I just drop it.
Fuck a kickstand.
Yeah, fuck kickstand. Just lay it down. So I go to get in my car because I'm like, fuck this. I don't need to take this. I got a girl up in the Catskills. I'm out of here, bro. Yeah. I get in the car. She doesn't succeed in getting the keys for me. I get in the car. I start traveling north. I get my dog. Thank God he made it through. And I get like maybe 5 miles on Interstate 87 before I flip the car 4 or 5 times, doing 65 miles, 70 miles an hour on 87. Pull out of I crawl out of the windshield upside down. Some nice pedestrian had got my dog, thank God. Cops came. They didn't arrest me because it was such a mess. I went to the hospital, spent a night in the hospital. And you think that would be it? That was it? Nah. I was facing jail time, which I didn't do, but I got 5 years probation, took my license, obviously. And
They could have it.
Yeah,
Driving anyway, bro.
I got nothing to drive. And that wasn't the start of my start of my sobriety yet. I had some more pain and suffering, but it came to a point. My pinnacle was a couple years after I'd met some of you guys in the rooms and the programs. I knew that help was there. I just wasn't like you guys. I didn't need any of this.
You were unique.
Terminally.
Absolutely.
Until it got to the point I woke up out of a blackout. We were moving. This is how awesome this program, this recovery joint is. We were moving, and I was so stressed out over moving. Now, I've done this like 6 times from one house to another that I got just blasted. I knew it was too late to piss clean for probation, so I just kept going. And I woke up out of the blackout. Ashley's gone. My dog's gone. The house is a disaster.
It's gone. It's all gone.
All gone. All the windows are shattered. Nice new flat screen TV shattered. And I was like, you know what, dude? I'm a pain to everybody else. I'm just kill myself, you know. But before I kill myself, I gotta get the courage to do that. So back to the liquor store. Ashley reminds me that she was actually home. She was gone when I first came to, but when I got back from the liquor store, she was actually home. I got a fishing rod, and I went down the lake, and I was like, fuck this. You know, I'm going to come. I said, blacked out again real quick, you know, because once you slip in, you're just teetering to the edge.
In and out, in.
And one of the guys from the program found me, brought me to the hospital. You know, my wife found me, and the guys from the room found me. They all took me to the hospital, and my mother, God bless her for all the shit I put her through. Bring me to the hospital, blood alcohol level through the fucking roof. I think I was like a 0.45, like real up there. Detox, and I started my journey, man. They were like, listen, you never want to feel this way again. There's only one thing you got to do, not drink, you know. And I did it, so that's how I started, man. And that was May 5th, 2019. So I'm
Nice.
over 4.5 years on my journey in recovery, and I wouldn't trade it for the fucking world, brother.
Never had it so good, boy.
Never had it so good. So
Never had it so good.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Look at that. 17 seconds over. 17 seconds.
How am I going to beat that?
I'll end with this.
I'll end with this. My name's Dino. I am an alcoholic and a drug addict and an old dumpster fire, and I'm not anymore. Born and raised Waterbury, Connecticut. I am 52 years old. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. I didn't really have a bad life. I didn't have a bad upbringing at all. Really good folks. Gave us everything we needed. A lot of things that we wanted. We had a really good life. Went to church. I went to Catholic school. I was a good boy. I was an A+ student. I was doing everything right, heading in the right direction.
You were an A+ student?
I was an A+ student, man. I was. I used to be smart. SMRT.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. That's definitely bad. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
So, all that stuff was great. Upbringing was great. It wasn't until around 11, 12 years old where I kind of pinpointed a lot of things that started heading in the wrong direction in my life, which was when my grandmother got sick. Me and my grandmother were homies. You could not separate us. We were best friends. She was everything to me. I was everything to her. I was the first grandkid.
What? Me and you got that in common.
I was the first kid.
First.
Yeah, spoiled brat. So she got sick, and
3 of us.
3 of us. It's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I just thought about that. We're all spoiled brats. Cool.
That's
We're all the first spoiled brats in our family.
yeah.
So, going to church, I believed in God and all that stuff. And, I was told that, you ask God and God will give, and ask God and ask God. So I was constantly asking my God, of my understanding at the time, to save my grandmother.
Yeah.
I don't want her to die. She was
Yeah.
really sick,
Yeah.
And I remember the night my mom came home one night from the hospital. They were kind of trying to keep me and my brother separated at the time from that whole situation. They didn't want to traumatize us, which I could understand. I appreciate it. But she passed away. And I remember just feeling the rage in my body, like hot. Like my chest was like, and I instantly right there and then stopped believing in anything that I've ever been told. And everybody has lied to me my whole entire life. Like I asked every single night, every single day, all day, every day.
Yeah.
Please don't take her. Get her well. And I figured it would just happen because I was told. You just ask God and God will provide.
God will provide,
yeah. So yeah, that screwed my head all up. And then, rebellion came right away. The overconfidence of youth that we talk about in a lot of the rooms that we go into, stuff like that. And I started just doing crazy stuff. You know, my mom was not one of those moms who let us out at night to hang out on the street. But if my mom was out, my dad would, I'd be like, Dad, can I go ride my bike in the neighborhood? And he'd go, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I remember like going down the street and just knocking over garbage pails and like mailboxes, just like smashing in the mailboxes, ripping garbage part, acting like a maniac.
Yeah.
I think I was just releasing some rage, man. We ended up going to Italy. My father took me and my middle brother to Italy, and we were there for a month. When we came back, we lived in a different town. My parents built a house, didn't even tell us about it, didn't say, hey, when we come back, you guys are going to live in a different town, and we built this new house in Woolkit, Connecticut. So on our way back from the airport, that's when it was broken to us. Hey, by the way, we're not going back to Circular Avenue in Waterbury anymore. We're going to Woolkit. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what about school? What about my friends? And we ended up moving into this house. And at the time, it was just me and my one of my brothers, because my youngest brother wasn't born yet. At the time, we were break dancers.
Oh.
That was the thing back in the day. I had a huge boom box and all that stuff. And it was very acceptable in Waterbury, Connecticut, but 20-minute drive into Woolkit, Connecticut back in the 80s, that was not cool with them. They did not like us. It was a hard life, man, for the first year in Woolkit, Connecticut, man.
That sounds like a step up, though, from Waterbury.
It's a huge step up.
But not if you don't want it.
Not if you don't want to,
Yeah.
you're settled, you know? So, you know, it's me and my brother with our shell-toe Adidas and our Kangos and our big box and our cardboard, and we're breakdancing in the driveway, and we start school, and nobody likes us, man. Like, nobody likes us, dude. We are not getting any friends. We're not making any friends. We're very miserable, very, very miserable people.
Breakdancing didn't buy
Bullied.
in the crowd?
Nah, man, me and my brother were best friends, man. We didn't make friends
You
there.
have no choice.
We didn't have no choice.
It seems like the options were limited there.
You know, bullied every single day. Getting into fights every single day. Me and my brother would have scratches, scuffs, black eyes, bloody knuckles, because we ain't punks. We're fighting back. We were getting bullied all the time. And I felt like we had no chance there. Like, and we would cry to our mom, like, I hate it here. I fucking hate it here. There was these two bullies that they used to steal my bike all the time and put it up in a tree. There was really nothing else to do.
dedication right there.
They'd steal my bike almost every other day. They would put it up in a tree, watch me try to climb this tree. I'm from Waterbury. I don't climb trees.
What the fuck is that?
What the hell was that?
Oh, you want to fuck with me?
You
fucking
fuck with
boy
me.
compared to me.
Just trying to get some sides.
So, watch me climb trees. Like, again, I'm from Waterbury, dude. I don't climb trees. I can do fences, but I don't climb trees. So last time they did that, I would climb the tree to get my bike, and I get down. They're laughing at me. I'm like, "Fuck you!" and blah blah blah. And they tackle me. They start whooping my ass, and they lit up a joint, and they were trying to make me smoke it. 12 years old. Lit up a joint. They were holding me down, noogies and all that stuff. And I thought that if I just took and just let it out without inhaling, they would just leave me alone and let me go. Because, you know, my mom and dad told me my whole entire life, do not hang out with people like that. Do not do drugs. These are really bad for you. You'll die and all that stuff. So that wasn't good enough for them. They actually made me inhale it, made me hold it in. And to be honest with you guys,
Best day ever.
by the time that joint was halfway done, they didn't have to hold me down anymore. And I was like, guys, let me get some more of that shit, man. I'm smoking and I'm loving it. I love the way it feels. And again, I go right to, wow, they've been lying to me my whole life, man. My mom's been lying to me. This is amazing. I'm not dead. I'm not in jail. I'm not this and that.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the beginning of the end of the A+ student, the good kid, the kid who went to church and all. It was the end, because the very next day I stole $80 out of my mom's pocketbook and went and bought an ounce off of those kids that were bullying me. And now me and those bullies are boys.
BFFs.
The bullies just became my boys.
Oh, wow.
And that's how my whole entire active life has been, man. It's been nothing but all I want to do is get high and drink. That's all I want to do. I drank shortly after that. I drank a liter of Anisette. That was the first time I really, really drank. You know, we had wine as
Throw up
Italians
that
and all.
night,
Dude, I threw up all over the house, dude. All over the house. The whole liter I drank too, with orange crushed soda to chase it.
Oh, delicious.
And I'm Italian, so I had a belly full of macaroni. You know?
Yeah.
So it was brutal, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. It took me out of everything. I loved it, and that's all that has ever mattered to me my whole entire life, my whole entire active life. That is all that's ever mattered to me was more. And, from the marijuana went to the LSD, and from the LSD went to the other things, and then the other things. And then, I was getting in a lot of trouble. I wasn't getting good grades, and all this stuff was just not good. And my mom said, we're moving back to Waterbury. You're getting in too much trouble over here.
Great idea.
Now, mind you, dude, I'm getting on my BMX bike and going to Waterbury every day to cop better drugs to bring them back to Woolkit to disperse it amongst my boys now.
Sell? Make a little.
You could call it disperse, but I
skim up
wasn't
the
selling
top?
shit.
Yeah.
I was just giving it because it was a way to make friends too, dude.
Hell
I needed
yeah.
friends, man.
This
I
is a
was
social-
trying to fit in.
If alcohol was a social lubricant, what would you call pot? A social smoke?
Social smoke,
Social leaf?
social smoke.
Social. All right.
So anyway, we moved back to Waterbury. We moved a block away from Fairlawn Park. And I am originally a Fairlawn boy from Waterbury, Connecticut. They moved me right to the park that I would go to almost every day on my BMX from Woolkit to hang out, cop, go back to Woolkit. So they moved me 2 seconds away from my sources.
They hooked it up, baby.
I went, I got a job at TJ Maxx. That was my first real job. I had little odd and end jobs here and there throughout my young career. I ended up working at TJ Maxx. At the same day I started there, this other dude started there. This other guy, Randy. I'm going to say his name. Randy. Just got out of prison. He did a dime. Just got out of prison. We got a janitor's job at TJ Maxx, and we're both started that day, and we're in the office, in the break room, and he's like, yo, man, you want to make some real money?
Hell yeah.
I said, fuck, who don't want to make real money, man?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, tell you what, you're going to take these things. You're going to hand them out to all your friends. And he hands me a bag of jumps, the red caps, the black caps back in the days. I was like, okay, like, how am I going to make money? He's like, just do that. So I did that. I would go to Fairlawn Park. I'm like, here, guys, take this stuff. This is my boy at work. And everybody's like, hell yeah. Next day, same thing. I hand it all out. Next day, he goes, now they're $10 and these are $20. I said, all right, man, do that. Meanwhile, I am drinking like a fish, smoking weed like a fish, taking a lot of LSD, man. Huh?
Fish smoke a lot of
Smoke
weed.
weed?
You never seen this fish smoke weed,
Yeah,
bro?
you ain't seen
You
that?
ain't done enough drugs.
Wait. Back to the red vial. What were the vials?
They were called caps, like jums.
Jum.
And the caps.
J-U-M. Jum.
J-U-M, jums.
What is
Jimmy
it?
Jams. They were
They're
vials.
just vials of crack.
Yeah.
Oh, crack.
Yeah, that was when crack was crack.
You sound like
Oh,
was
I
crack.
never got
Crack.
crack in vials.
Crack.
I didn't get the
Nah,
fucking
you're too
vial
young.
crack.
You're too young.
I know. Well,
Yeah, they stopped that a while back.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might find some somewhere. That's what I heard. So, getting high all the time. And now I'm 15 years old, man. I got an unbelievable amount of money in my pocket all the time. I think I'm a baller, bro. I got a car. I got I can't remember the year. It was a Plymouth Grand Fury station wagon. It had the 6 headlights in the front.
Nice.
We used to call it the Holiday Roll because it looked like the
Holiday Road.
yeah, with the paneling.
Yeah, baby.
Shout out Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase. So and that's how it rolled, man. Very arrogant. And then I got curious as to why my bedroom looked like TC's pawn shop. Like I had doubles of stereos and like VCRs, jewelry. Like people were coming to my school because I changed schools by that time, obviously. I'm in high school. And people were coming to my school that didn't go to school asking for me in the office saying that there's a family emergency.
That's
and
hilarious.
I show up and I see this girl from the block and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, yeah, your aunt's real sick. They got to go to the hospital. It's crazy. So I got real curious,
16,
man.
15 selling crack?
16. Yeah, 16 years old.
Were you smoking it yet or no?
Not yet.
You just had the red vials.
I was doing
Story?
I'm
some
not gonna
I was
do
doing
it.
some
Curious
dope
right
though.
now.
I was doing some dope though here and there, popping a lot of pills. I was doing everything but smoking crack.
See, you know what doesn't compute for me? If you have the drug, like even distributing it and
Why are
not
you doing
consuming
it?
it.
Yeah.
That's what missed my part.
Well, I did it eventually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, around 17 years old, I got real curious as to why all these people were going crazy over this shit. So I tried it. And what I did was I put it in a corn pipe.
Oh.
Because that's where I used to smoke my weed out of. Because I
Fucking
was a
old-
baller.
old
So I
corn
smoked
pipe.
weed out of my corn pipe.
Quartz pipe.
My corn with no ashes, no nothing. I just threw a jum in there and I'm like, dude, this shit just melted.
Yeah.
I don't even have smoke, man. So the next day, this kid hits me up. He needs a 50. So I go up to his house and I'm watching him do it. I'm like, yeah, how did you even get smoke out of that?
Where's your corn pipe at?
Yeah.
No
Where's the corn pipe at,
He
bro?
goes, oh, you did it wrong. Let me show you.
Yeah.
It was a wrap, bro.
That's a wrap.
I blew out that first hit. The only thing I ever sold after that was everything I ever bought. And that's how it went, man. Crack cocaine, Jack Daniels. That was all that's ever mattered to me. My family never mattered to me. No women ever mattered to me. My kids finally ended up having kids. I don't even know how that happened. It just completely just took over, and I didn't give a shit about nothing else except for getting high and smoking crack and drinking, and I didn't give a shit about anybody else, let alone my own self. July 9th, 2013 is my sobriety date, is the day that I actually got the thorough ass whooping that I absolutely needed. God showed me that I am powerless over alcohol and drugs, people, places, things, situations, and that I need help, and I constantly need help, and I need his help, and I need these guys' help, and I need everybody's help. I am not SMRT anymore. I can't do this alone. I surrendered. July 9th, 2013 is my sobriety day. I've never had it so good. My life is absolutely amazing today. People would kill for the life I have today. And at one point, I wanted to kill myself. So I hope this message was able to relate to somebody. I don't know. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But we have a lot more for you, so don't worry.
whining.
Sit tight.
Stop whining.
Stop whining.
Who are you?
Yeah. Ooh. This soundboard is out of control. There's like way too many. I'm trying to plan it and throw a little jip in there for us, you
Nice.
know? A little funny.
With the jip.
Well, how do you think it's working? I
don't know.
Not that fucking great.
I need a vacation. Trust me.
Are you ready to stop fucking around?
I don't know.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Mad alcoholic.
Matt.
Yo.
Of course, I'm a drug addict too, but I just keep it simple. Identify as alcoholic. I can
Who are
remember
you?
first getting involved in meetings, and you hear all these people with all these different labels and titles of how they like to introduce themselves. And I remember hearing an old timer say, "You know what, man? For me, it all falls under the same umbrella. It started with alcohol, it ended with alcohol, and everything that I did while the alcohol was flowing just went right along with the way things went." So, you know, I am a fan of keeping it simple, and I just identify as alcoholic. I'm from Waterbury. Like my two brothers here, I was an only child, so only son to my mother and father. My grandfather's first grandchild, and anything my mother said no to, my grandfather said yes to.
That's right, Daddy.
So I would make sure that we saw my grandfather on a regular.
On the reg.
My parents were hardworking people, and you know, I did a lot of growing up in my neighborhood. I had a lot of babysitters because my parents were busy. They provided well, but they had to work for it, and they were not around a lot because of that. And you know, I don't have the woe is me on that thing. I was very lucky, very fortunate. They gave me everything that I wanted. They gave me everything I needed, and then they also provided everything that I wanted. So I was spoiled to death. And
It's a common thread around here.
and the way that I behaved would demonstrate that also. You know, and that took many, many years to even identify that as a child my behavior was off the charts. You know, I got suspended for the first time in third grade for fighting a kid. You know, got suspended in fourth grade, pulled a knife on a kid. And it wasn't because like I'm this, you know, wannabe killer with a knife. I was an idiot kid who brought a knife to school and just tried to show it off to someone, and they fucking went and told on me like I pulled a knife
rats.
on a kid. Yeah, it was crazy. So, you know, that was the precedent for me in school. I was the every single report card, the teacher used to write a little note, and I was always the kid who never showed full potential.
Does not play well with others.
Oh, Matthew could do so much more if he only applied himself. You know what I mean? I was applying myself to a whole lot of other things, and none of them were good. None of them were good. First drink, 8 years old.
Nice.
And it wasn't raiding the liquor cabinet. It was my parents had a party. There was empty, half drinks on the table, and I'm just sipping with my little friend. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it.
Was it Doug friend?
No, Doug friend. I don't even know a Doug.
Was it my little friend? I thought maybe
His name Randy?
He gets around
Was
a
it
lot.
Randy? Was he just out for doing a
No,
bit?
his name was Michael, actually,
Michael.
ironically.
The Michaels.
But would I say that I woke up alcoholic? Well, I was probably alcoholic right out the gate because of just my behavior alone. But it took a while to get the other things into my system to really identify as a true alcoholic. But I was an alcoholic through behavior at a very young age. And then the first time I smoked some weed, I was probably like 13 years old. A buddy of mine stole it from his older brother. We hit it up before we got on the bus. Man, that was the best day of my life.
Hit it out, baby.
Best day of my life. And I didn't know why. I can tell you that I remember growing up and feeling like lonely all the time. I would see everybody in my neighborhood had multiple kids in the house. And then you come to my house and it's just me. So I was always trying to be at someone else's house. And I don't know why, man. I just never felt, that old saying, it could never get right. I just never felt right.
Can't get right.
Can't get right. And
Can't get right, boss.
so I think that I always had an emptiness in me that I was trying to fill and had no idea even how to try to fill it. I'm Jewish. Of course, I know I look it. I was brought up Jewish, and I don't know that I ever even really contemplated the idea of God. I don't think that I did. I know that I went through the motions. My mother said we got to go to synagogue. I went. We were not religious at all, but we went when we needed to go.
Fill an ignorant person in. This guy.
Yeah, I figured that.
What is the...
You have the look of their
Yeah. Is it the glasses? Is it the velour? What is the Jewish belief in God? What is the Jewish religion of their view of God?
God is God. The Messiah has yet to come for the Jews.
Just the only difference, no Jesus yet.
No Jesus.
Jesus hasn't
Little
shown
baby
up.
Jesus. He hasn't been born to the Jews.
Lord and baby
Little
Jesus.
sweet baby Jesus. But none of that mattered to me, and I don't think every family, whatever religion they had going on, I don't think it was so evident, so paramount in daily life. I think everyone was just doing their thing, and we did ours. Will never say after I took the first drink, I thought about a drink, but after the first time I got high, I thought about getting high, and then it was about, hey, did you find your brother's stash? Like every day, like I'm wanting to know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
And
Playing it out, baby.
man, I'm always getting in trouble, always getting suspended from school. No real trouble, but suspended from school. Being I guess the best way to describe me is that I was always a disappointment. I always managed to disappoint somebody, some kind of way, all the time. And always thinking, what's the big deal, man?
I know.
I'm just trying to do me.
Ain't hurt nobody.
I ain't hurt
Come
nobody,
on, man. Everybody needs to relax.
And then, the horrible, I'm 15 years old. My parents get divorced when I'm 13. And 15 years old, my father overdoses. And I was not prepared for that. I don't know that any child ever is.
No.
But, the silly little childish idea, like to me, he was Superman.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how far down the scale he had gone in his own life. To me, he was the man, and that was it. And no one could tell me different, you know. And, you know, sadly enough, he mistreated my mother, and I paid attention to that, to know how to I didn't know how to treat a woman. I knew how to mistreat a woman. And a lot of the things that he taught me, whether directly or indirectly by what I saw, I needed to unlearn and re-educate a lot of my life.
We call that generational trauma in my line of work.
Thanks. Well, you know what, bro? Keep all that. Okay?
Generational trauma.
No,
I heard that word
I have
today.
heard that also. Aaron, my
Just
wife,
now?
Today I heard that shit.
I heard it a while ago. My wife introduced that to me, actually. So, you know, he dies, man, and I don't know how to handle it. And I'm off the deep end. And now I'm getting high every chance. I still have yet to really drink. I'm only still on this weed thing. And that summer that he died, me and my boy John, we got our little bit of money together. There used to be this package store. Remember Universal Package Store on North Main?
No.
Anyway, there used to be this package store, and they sold to underage kids. They didn't care. And we got this case of Schlitz ponies.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
And they sat up in the attic for a couple of weeks.
Nice and warm.
Nice and hot.
Hot beer,
And
baby.
we put them beers down, and I drank till a blackout. I drank till I was puking out the second story window all over the car below. And that was my first drink,
Good times.
and it was a good time.
Glory
And
days.
I woke up feeling like shit and couldn't wait to do it again. You know? And that was the beginning of the end, really. And, you know, I really thought that when I was going to tell my story that there really wouldn't be much of this war story type of stuff. But I believe that throughout our time together that there will be a lot more concentration on the sobriety and the evolution of life that comes
Absolutely.
from who we started out as. So it's just good to get, you know.
Yeah.
I can remember, like, there's times that I would tell my story and someone would be like, man, I can't believe you said it out loud. You know, today, man, you know,
Yeah.
I can remember being full of shame for a lot of things.
Right.
And today, I don't carry shame for who I was. I was a lost-ass kid, man. I'm trying to find my way, and I wasn't doing a good job of it. That's just it, you know. I don't know many people that start out like us that just snap their fingers and they get it together. You know,
No.
It seems like there's always a common thread of what we go through and how we wind up here. And, you know, I went through, right after my father died, the cocaine came into play, and every other drug that you could imagine came into play, and I really had an affinity for cocaine. I like to go 100 miles a minute. I don't like going down. I like going up.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Hell of a drug.
It's delicious.
Show Charlie Murphy your titties.
So, you know, man, I always fancied myself as a good drug dealer. And I know that because I sold some of the best shit around and I did it all.
Nice.
You know?
But you got to test out your own product. Yeah, you know what I mean?
gotta know what we're
You
selling
can't-
here.
You got to know what you're selling to your
I
customers.
can remember bagging up all this stuff and then the next day waking up and all them baggies are empty on the floor. You know, didn't make a nickel.
Damn, I sold out.
Sold out to myself. But you know, man, there are a lot of regrets from the things that I went through, the things that I've done. But at the same time, it's hard to regret what allowed me to be put in the position to become who I am today.
That's right.
So that's a real double-edged sword for me. I feel bad about the things that I did, but I can't really say that today I have that much regret for it. Do I wish that some of the people didn't get hurt the way that they did, that I didn't do the things that I did? Yeah, man, I could absolutely say that. But at the same time, all of those things were paramount to get me ready to be in the position to not have another missed opportunity. And that was really the bottom line of my life. If you summed it up in one sentence, I was nothing but a ball of missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
You know, I started going to rehab early. My arrest started right around that same time, 15, 16. And that continued. I found myself with MYI, the youth facility here in Connecticut, you know, and I can remember thinking, man, I don't really belong here. I think something is drastically wrong, and there was nothing wrong. If you do things that aren't right, they got a place for you. You know, they got a place for you. And I needed to continue to test those waters, and I found myself giving the state quite a number of years, and but you know, when I look back at it, it really just was saving my life. Really, you know, you always hear people say, I got arrested. I was the guy that was getting rescued.
Rescued, that's right.
Because without a doubt, man, I was heading for an early grave.
That's the first time I heard that. A rescued.
Oh,
Rescued.
Stick around, kid.
Stick around, bro. Keep
You're
coming.
young in this game. Stick around.
A rescued.
And then, you know, man, a history of in and out of the prison system, a history of in and out of horrible relationships, a history of stealing love and breaking hearts, a history of manipulation of people.
Master.
If I even thought that you liked me, you didn't even need to love me. If I thought that you liked me, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you for everything that I can. Because my disease had no limits, you know. And then one day I woke up and I was doing another bid, and I said, man, there's something that's got to change here. Something's got to change. I did not believe in myself yet, but I did know about this program. And then, like I said, many times had the option to get involved, and I chose not to. And then every time you're in a facility, they always say, the day you get out,
Hit a meeting.
get to a meeting.
Hit a meeting.
Raise your hand, introduce yourself to the group. And I never had time for that.
Nah, man, got too much going on, bro. I got big things going
I was
on,
always the
bro.
guy saying, yeah, I got to get with my girl. I got to have a meal. You know what, man? I never had a girl waiting for me. I never had a special meal waiting for me. All I had was a lie so that I could pretend like I was fitting in and that I was better than who I really was. I couldn't understand my reality. I needed to be somebody better. Although I wasn't living a life that allowed me to be better.
Right.
So, you know, I hit the ground running, man. I hit a meeting, and I
So fast.
did all those
So
things.
fast.
I raised my hand. I introduced myself to the group, and by the grace of God, I've never had to leave. My sobriety date is 8/15/06, and since then I have not taken anything mind altering.
Nice.
And that's a gift of God. That's a gift of having men like this in my life, and that's it.
That's the story. Sticking to
Story.
it.
That's our story.
That's our story.
It's a little bit of our story.
A little bit.
We kept it down to 15 minutes because
Yeah, I think we could have all
we would have went
bored
to
you death
midnight each.
Yeah.
if you took
So-
the time to listen to us all.
Hopefully, this is one of many.
I got to interrupt you real quick.
What do you got?
Because I wanted to say this morning. One thing that I'm real lucky to do. The last prison that I was released from, as you guys all know, I was released from Carl Robinson back in 2009. And today I'm allowed to go into that facility, and I help facilitate a group every Friday morning.
And you get to leave.
It was, and I get to walk out. Who knew? But it's the same meeting that I went to every Friday
Yeah.
for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a blessing beyond blessings. But anyway, long story short, a kid today, he was telling his story, and he said, you know, man, I came out of detox again, and they're talking about this AA, and you know, man, it's the last place I wanted to go, but it was the only thing that would work.
It's the last stop on the block, bro.
You know.
And
I know. We've all met many people over the years that say, "Man, you know that AA shit, that ain't for me." Mm-hmm. And I understand that. I don't even judge someone that says that because I've been there. I don't know how many times Like, come on, man. That ain't if you're going to AA, you're weak as fuck.
Yeah.
And
AA's for quitters.
B,
Daddy didn't raise no quitter.
it ain't gonna work for me.
Ain't gonna work for me. I'm different.
So
You don't know how I get down.
yeah. Get down with the get down.
Get down.
But get right.
Get down to broke.
But I just thought that
Homeless.
was real good. You know, the only thing that would work, and it was the last place I wanted to go.
Yeah, man. You know, dude, how many times I had to come back, not have to, but like just ended up back in these rooms, these 12-step rooms, and like, fuck. But then I'd be happy to be here, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you get your shit back, you get that girl back, you get that good food in you, get a job, clean up, shave, line it all up, get a nice edge up. I'm good, man.
I'm good. I got what I needed.
I'm gonna go back out there. I know how to do this now.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah. And now I know what not to do.
Yeah, well, not to do.
There's a
insane,
never-ending
man.
list of
It's
what
insane.
not to do.
So yeah, man.
One time, bro.
That's good shit. So, yeah, man. So this is episode 1 of hopefully what is many. Hopefully we get a lot of people checking us out and giving us feedback, all that stuff. We are going to have other guests come in, and we're going to dive into other people's experience, strength, and hope, you know, where they came from, how they got into recovery, and how they stay sober and recovered. We'll also have funny, like I said, this is going to be... You know, we wear this thing like a loose garment, man. This ain't about always being serious, and none of that stuff. You know, we want to make this something that we could all laugh at. You know what I mean?
Idiot friendly.
Definitely idiot friendly. SMRT
62,
friendly, bro.
baby.
So we'll have segments like One Time Bro. That's going to be a segment part of the show where one of us or even our guest is going to give us a little bit of a war story as to one time I was doing this and this is what happened type of shit. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. So, you know, other things like skits that we find on YouTube of people drunk, falling down on their faces. I mean, let's be honest, man. Drunk people are funny.
Yeah, funny
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I was a hoot. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know about anybody else. I was fun to be with, especially if you had money.
Yeah.
As long as you're stacked, we're best friends, baby.
So yeah, man. That's what we're trying to do here, man. And yeah.
And let's shout out. What do we got in terms of supports here?
You're looking for help, here's a number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here you can reach out to our whatever the hell people reach out to. I don't even know how this works yet,
Just
bro.
call this number. That's all you gotta
Yeah,
do.
call Jonathan.
Yeah, we'll give Jonathan.
Matter of fact, I got a guy, bro. I've had a guy my whole entire life, man.
got
You
a
need,
guy.
yo, you need recovery, brother. I got you, bro.
I
get
got
you
you.
in somewhere.
No, I jive with that 100%. Definitely. And I could, I'll edit that piece out right there.
Yeah.
And listen, this thing is our first show, so we don't need no smart ass comments about how bad we were tonight. Keep it light.
Word,
We're learning as we go.
We know
man.
we're bad.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
we do.
love
We
that.
bad.
You know, we
We
did
bad.
have this one format to follow. Jonathan did a really great job with his AI app.
Yeah, but it took too long, though.
Yeah, it was horrible.
We would still be introducing ourselves.
But, you know, hey, kudos to Jonathan.
This was Jonathan's idea.
It really was.
This was Jonathan's idea. John
And that's-
started this.
And that's my logo right there.
And that's
boys.
Jonathan right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show him.
With
Because
the
they
hair.
can't see mine.
Hairdo. It's Jonathan.
Yeah.
That's Jonathan.
So which one is this?
Matt's the king.
Yeah.
And I'm
you're
the dude with the
Gino,
Kango,
top hat.
son.
Top
With the hat.
Top hat.
I got some crack in
Son.
that top hat. That's where I sell all my crack from.
And then you got the rose.
He's got a stem right in
nice.
his
That's what the stem. That's what the rose actually looks like outside of the stem. Is that
Holy
nice
You
rose?
fuck.
suck it out of the
shit,
stem
man.
and poof.
It
just,
blooms,
it-
but we never have time. We never looking at that because we're just trying to get that
I used to just
motherfucker
go
out.
blow that shit on the floor.
That
and
stupid
get it-
ass
get
rose,
it
dude.
moving.
What is so? Just
So they
bef-
could sell it in convenience stores.
That's why there's a rose.
They
there.
had to put- they
but
couldn't
I don't
just
even
sell them as
know
crack
it's
pipes.
grass. I mean, it's glass. Is it real glass?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
my shit used to always
Yeah, yeah.
crack and chafe and like,
Because it was cheap glass.
it's
Yeah,
cheap
Yeah,
glass.
it's not expensive, man.
You gotta
Yeah.
buy about 4 or 5.
I used to buy them before
night.
I got married. I used to buy them for my wife all the time. Before I got married to my ex-wife, I used to buy it for her all the time. Like, hey, I bought you a rose. And then every once in a while, she'd be like, I lost a rose you gave me. I don't know. I'm like, damn, I'll just buy you another one.
That way you always do.
Horrible
One in the
person.
hole.
Another roast. Another roast.
Baby, I got you another rose, baby.
Oh,
Got
my
you another
God.
rose.
Save this. Don't crack it.
Save, don't break this one. Don't break it.
No. Oh, you leave it in the.
I got you these little scrubby things you can wash your dishes with too.
You like that picture I
She
sent
never
last
did.
week?
She never washed the dishes.
Remember I sent the picture?
Oh
yeah, the cleaner.
The bag of chore bowl. I'm like, that'll last a week right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, socially unacceptable but sober. This is the podcast. So
Oh, let me shout out. I mean, they'll be in some of these links here, but I set up so far. We got the you're listening to it somewhere, obviously. Hopefully Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Play. But we got the video portion of this up on the old YouTube, and that's at SUBS Podcast. That's our YouTube account. We got some Instagrams going on at Subs Podcast 1. And then we're going to have a Patreon coming up maybe down the line if we get some following and we get some good stuff going. But that's what we got that far. Oh, and our email. You want to send us anything? You got questions, comments, feedback? subspodcast1@gmail.com.
word.
Little fun fact. You know where the name Subs came from, Jonathan?
I was told this at one point.
Tell them.
Used to be our bowling name.
Oh, it was the bowling name. Yeah.
Sober
the
Bowling League.
And believe me, they didn't like us.
All right. Well, I don't
They
know.
couldn't
It's-
wait for that season to be over. Boy,
You know, I think hemorrhoids and hernias is a good runner-up to that. I mean, maybe
I was high the whole entire time on that bowling league.
Oh.
The whole entire time I was completely blasted out of my mind, except for when we were bowling, because I knew these dudes would know. And I'd come every week and be like, "Oh, guys, shit, I forgot my wallet."
had money to
I never
pay
had
for
money. They
his
covered me
fucking
every
dues.
week. And then one time I had a warrant, and I was on the bowling league, and Mike W was bringing me home, and I was like, "Yo, Mike, pass my house, bro, pass my house." Oh, I guess this is a one-time bro segment. Here we go. So I'm like, Mike, pass the house. He's like, why? I'm like, detectives around the side of the house. He's like, how the hell are you? I'm like, Mike, just pass, bro. Just bring me down the block. So I
Uber
fucking,
pass.
So I get out of the car. I run up the backyard, and I go in the house, and I'm thinking I'm scot-free. All of a sudden,
Oh, they
shit,
see.
man. It's like 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, damn. I was like, as long as nobody wakes up. At the time, my wife was sleeping. My 4-year-old son was sleeping. She was pregnant. She wakes up. She's like, I'm like, shh, it's the cops. She's like, why would the cops be? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Just go back to bed. As long as we don't answer the door, they'll go away. So she goes back to bed, and they were relentless. She kept knocking. Now my son, I could hear him start to whimper. As soon as she hears that, Mama Bear gets up, and she's like, I'm going to get the door. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, it's the cops. And she's just like, I don't know why the cops. I don't know why.
She didn't know about the warrant?
I told her right away what the warrant was about because I didn't want her to answer the door. I said, remember that time? Well, I did it. And they're looking for me. And you can't answer the door.
It was me.
So she
One
gets
armed man did it.
so she gets fed up and she goes up to the door. She says, who is it? I'm like, I'm done. So she was like, I'm looking for a man, like acting like a Mexican or some foreigner. She's like, it's some foreigner looking for you. I'm like, it's the cops. I'm like, and now they're not going to go away. So she's like, I'm just going to see what they want. I'm like, oh, shit. So she goes to open the door. I start running out the back. I know they're going to be in the back, but they don't know what I got. I'm about to run through the sunscreen porch, through the screen, roll down the hill, run to the block. They ain't catching me in the block. So as soon as she opens the door, I head out the door. I turn around because I hear, ugh. They tackled my pregnant wife, dude, to the ground, right?
Oh, God.
They're in my 4-year-old's room, guns and flashlights
Oh.
with my 4-year-old on the ground. I see and hear all that. I turn around, dude. I'm like, I felt like Steve Austin, dude, $1 Million Man. Tackled the cop that was on top of my wife. Got on top of him, my knees on his shoulders. Pummeling him, dude, with everything I got. They tased me. I don't know they tased me.
I feeling that shit.
Want to know how I found out they tased me?
The marks.
The pepper spray.
Oh.
Pepper spray reminded me that I was getting tased. Jesus, man. So they got me, man. They got the tater. That's the bowling league. I was playing bowling that night.
And that's
I was playing bowling.
I was
that
playing
night.
bowling that night with the
playing
sober guys,
bowls.
acting like I was sober.
over here at the old Lakewood.
Lakewood
Yeah.
Lane.
Lakewood
Shout out to
Lanes.
Lakewood Lane.
Charlie
Charlie Lanza.
Lanza.
Yeah, my father used to work for the original Charlie.
No shit.
Yeah.
His dad. Charlie's a good dude, man.
I don't know, Charlie.
He's a good dude.
It's a good deal. All right, boys.
His father used to own a supermarket, Lanza's Market.
Oh yeah.
That's
Here
my
we
father
go.
I remember Lanza's market, man. Yeah, but we weren't
Oh,
blowing
we
up
did a
their
lot of
spot.
editing.
Yo, you're not only a what are you? The artist? You like drawing? Now you're gonna like editing now.
I'm like the thing you put clothes into, the drawer, and I'm also the video editor. Yeah. So we're a 3-man team doing this. No production crew back here, as despite the way it looks.
We're a one-man team when it comes to the production.
How great it looks.
Yeah.
As professional. We got the lights and stuff, man. We did a hell of a job.
Hopefully this gets big, man. Hopefully we reach a lot of people, man. We get a big crowd. We get great. We are willing to take anybody and anybody that is willing to come and hang out with us for an hour.
Hell yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? As long as you're socially unacceptable but sober, you're more than welcome.
Well, we had that discussion about just. We're not gonna go there. What
Someone asked me today about, you can make money doing this. I said,
Give a fuck about the money.
I said that's the last thing on our brains. I said the only thing that I'm really concerned about is that this just gives us another platform to get the message out there, but to get it out there in a way that idiots like us can hear it. Because not everybody receives the message the same way.
Right.
And, in an open meeting, wherever you may find yourself, there's always tends to be some constriction, right? And here we can act a fool all we want, but, the end result is to see, just because sobriety happens, man, life doesn't end. Life begins. I didn't know what it meant to laugh with my friends before I got sober. I would
laughing.
go through the motions of laugh, but I never knew what it meant to feel good enough to want to laugh. And with these two clowns, all we do is crack up.
I'm still a hoot.
Don't pollute.
Don't pollute. I'm still a hoot. All right, man. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Yo, we're hitting a we just hit the hour mark on the recording spot here, brothers. And you should shout this out. Shout this out. This is recorded on a cell phone. He's a fucking hell of a guitarist, but you know what? He records this shit.
We'll have him show up on the show and tell his story sometime.
This guy, this famous artist.
Yeah, he's famous. Guys, have a great night.
Yeah, brothers.
Stay sober.
Stay sober
One
and
day
get
at a time.
pulled over.
Peace.